Hi there. How's everyone doing out there? I want to thank you for coming to my latest preview. Sure is a hectic time right now. So much going on. Uh, Today we'll be focusing in on bringing the tropical fish in from outside. See, here in uh, central Ontario, the weather's been all over the map, like most places, unfortunately. Uh, I'd hoped to keep them out longer and get them out earlier, but it just didn't work out, and the fish had only been out about 2 months. It's almost the end of August, but the problem is, well, it's going down to about 8 degrees Celsius tonight, which is the mid 40s in Fahrenheit. Now it's going to be doing that for the next couple of days. I could put some heaters out there, but it's just so up and down that, you know what, I think I'm just going to bring all the tropicals in. I got a rush to set up the one tank that I'm going to keep my barb fry in. The water's been running for weeks and weeks, so there's no problem there. I am going to have to put a heater in simply because it's at the lower level of my aquariums. I'll show you the setup here shortly. Uh, it, it doesn't get as warm, so I just want to bring it up to about 73, 74. It'll really help with the growth rate, and I'm going to need a really reliable heater that I trust, but we'll get into that later. Um, Plus, I've also got a lot of plants going on in there. Just I want to make it as comfortable for them because when they're comfortable, they grow better and faster. For those that are watching on the replay crew, I really want to say thanks. I really appreciate it. See, I really, other than using the word really a lot, I enjoy doing these live premiere videos, even though they're technically not live. But the interaction between you and me are. So I think it's the best of both. It's like doing a live video, but well, you can show it a lot more and discuss a lot more. Well, let's get to it. We've got a lot of work to do. I'll show you these the tanks first, and then, well, we'll go outside and check out the barrels. I'll have to take a lot of plants out, a lot of media, and well, we'll go from there. I know they're fry in each of the barrels. I just don't know to what degree, simply because of the coverage and, well, you just can't see deep enough. Well, time's a wasting. Let's get going. This is what I'm going to be using for my fry tank. It's just a 30 long breeder tank. Nothing special, but there's, as you can tell, I got lots of plant material in there for them, both for a little bit of food and for cover, just to make them feel calm, especially that first little bit. I am going to have to put bubblers in here, but I'm going to use the bubblers from outside and bring those in. Sorry for the wonky camera work there. Let's take you to the very beginning, where I took the fish outside. That was barely 2 months ago. These are my rosy barbs. I had to add some more plants to the top because they prefer to breed near the top of the tank. The other is my gold barbs. I wasn't successful last year, but have big hopes for them this year. And of course, in the middle is the Odessa barb. I got about 25 fry out of there last year. I was quite happy. My goal is to at least get 10 to 20 per barrel this year. That way, I always have fresh stock, and if I have extra, then I can sell them off.
And this is the whole thing, is keeping them on hand so you don't have to buy any new ones.
Now, as you know, I use the tops of the barrels, cut it uh, with the mesh on top here. And for the first part, I let the rocks and gravel and some plants build up there until I get enough floating plants that I feel comfortable that the fry can survive. Then I eventually remove these, and they go wild, or they go free in the barrels. But because, like I said, the weather is turning for the worse, I've had to end up covering these at night, and I put temporarily I put the heaters in. And being that it's going to get so cold, first of all, I'm going to disconnect the heaters, and I'm about to pull the plugs on the pumps as well. There's a lot of work to be done. Of course, it's drizzling rain. Why wouldn't it? Come on, someone needs to give me a break here. Anyone? Anyone? Because there's a lot to be done, and there's no time to waste, because like I said, it's going into the mid to low 40s over the next few nights. This is cool enough now that I can remove same as this. I really don't like using the old knobbed tube heaters. I just really don't have much trust in them. Take these filters out. I'll need them inside anyway, so. So any viable plant that I want to keep that's a half decent size, I'm going to keep for inside this year. And then the rest, well, that's just going to be compost. So I'm only going to keep the bigger water lettuce, and I'll keep a few of them just for next year. And I'll definitely keep some of this oxygenating plant, because the fish really breed well in it, and there's no work involved. Did I mention there's no work involved? I like that aspect. And this whole system, the main thing about it is there really is no work involved. I don't remove the parents. I put them out. I feed them the parents once a day. Once I see that there are fry in the barrels, I start them on fry feed and frozen baby brine shrimp and Daphne and whatnot. Now, you're not going to get great gobs of fry, simply because, well, the parents are still in there. They're going to eat some. Well, they're going to eat a lot, but you'll be surprised on how many fry I actually get out of these. Some did better than others, but let's check out, see how we did. First, I'm going to have to get some water out of these. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like having to siphon the water, as in suck it out. So I just, easy system, submerge the line underwater and then start siphoning. Now, because there are relatively small fish still in here, it's a slower process, and I'll just watch and make sure I don't suck up any fry. I won't bore you with the details of how long this takes, but it's not going to be a short period. Look at the colors on these rosy barbs. Aren't they amazing? Who says they don't get vibrant when they're outside? Look at it. They are just, well, they're off the charts. I truly have everything stirred up in here. And this is where the most difficult part of the whole process of catching your fish out of the barrel. At least I set up adult tank or holding and fry holding areas. This size net is really not conducive to catching fry, but you'd be surprised what you get in it. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to take more water out. Oh, what do you think so far? Few fry in there. I have to do a final count on each species. And keep track of the final count of fry that we bring in this year. Because there'll be a future giveaway. Hint, hint. You know, Marley, you could probably help out if you wanted to. I certainly wouldn't mind. Hello, Marley? Yeah, I know. You're a guarding the fish. You're not much at helping to catch fish, I'll tell you that. Well, back to siphoning. Still lots more to catch. I am surprised with the amount of fry that are in here. I thought I had maybe 5, 6 fry. I'm way off. Boy, am I off. And for the better. Well, we're getting down to the nitty gritty now. Just going to siphon and run it through this net. And then we'll get the totals from this rosy barb barrel. The only problem is, like I said, getting them out. Now I could go shallower, but with the temperature fluctuations, I think it's better to go deeper than longer or wider. But everyone's got to do what works for them. Well, those are all the adults. They're ready to come back in. And in all honesty, I did have to put one female down. She had swim bladder infection or swim bladder issues. It just was not going to get any better. So rather than see it suffer, I had to say goodbye. Now let's see how we did with the fry out of this one. I expected to get 5 or 6. We got a lot more than that. We'll just count them up. I could definitely use some assistance on this time. 2 there. 5 on the last scoop, which already got more than I anticipated there. You'll note some real difference in size of fry. simply because they bred more than once. Well, let the fun begin. This is probably going to be my most productive tank or barrel. I don't know why, but they seem to have bred really well. Now, I did lose 2 of my females out of this tank, probably because they just were, well, they bred and bred. There's so many different sized fry in here. It's incredible. Jeez. Probably give you a count when I get closer to the end here. But, there's going to be a lot. Not thousands or any, but there's going to be a fair bit for just flock spawning and no parental care. And these parents, they do eat the fry, and definitely they eat the eggs. Man, these plants are breaking down quick. Well, there's a start. Believe it or not, there's 81 in there so far, and we've just begun in this barrel. Lots to go yet. There's a couple of the Odessa adults, like 2 males and 1 female. Believe it or not, there's another 81 in this bag of fry. Wow, that's 162 Odessa so far. Well, there's another 35. And we got the last of the adults out. So I'm going to take those inside, give you the tally of the Odessa babies. Well, finally down to the last barrel. Excuse me for my voice. Just getting over bronchitis, so I'm losing a bit of my voice here now. It really knocked the heck out of me. Anyways, being that it's the last barrel, and hopefully the easiest to catch, being that it's blue background and the fish are gold barbs, which are closer to orange. Well, let's get going. Well, maybe I waited too late in the day because, well, the sun's already behind the wall here and visibility is, well, crappy. So, it'll be a little bit at a time. Start it with a big net, see what we do. The little ones or the fry are going right through this big net, which is okay. I can catch the adults out. If I remember right, I think there was about 12 adults.
Now this isn't the easiest method. You know, you think it'd be easier than this. This is time consuming and labor intensive, but well worth it. There's a few different sizes of fry in here, so I really got to keep my eye open because there's some real tiny ones in here. But luckily, most of them are a good size. And there's more than I anticipated in this one too. I was hoping for 7 or 8, simply because they didn't breed for me last year. They certainly did this year. Now it's just taking out basically a bucket at a time, looking through it, making sure there's no fry in it, and dumping it out. It's not high tech, but it's what I got to work with. And it's a little quicker than trying to net the entire thing. Well, there we are. More than I anticipated. About double. We'll count them up. Well, I was off on my math. I couldn't remember if I had 9 or 12 in there.
You've been drinking?
No.
Counting 9.
10 beers.
So, and I don't recall losing any, so. And they certainly all look healthy. I did have a few small ones that I put in that I thought were female, and that was maybe my problem last year, that I just didn't have any females. So many times when you get barbs, they're all males. Now, first time successfully breeding gold barbs. I've got 20. Well over twice the amount I thought I might get. I'm really happy with that number. Can you believe all these fry? I was certainly not prepared for this. I'm going to have to set up an additional tank in the near future. But for now, this tank is going to have to do. I have ample filtration in it for now, but in order to get good growth, this many fish, I need more tank space. I can't wait to tell my wife I need more tank space. So you're going to ask, why do I have all 3 species together? Simply because they're all about the same size. It'd be just easier to feed them, easier to set up this tank. And as they grow, I'll start separating them. But for now, they can all go into the same one. I can easily distinguish the 3 varieties. Odessas are pretty easy to tell apart from rosies once you get used to them. Especially you're looking for 2 dots on the Odessas and 1 dot on the rosies. And then of course the gold barb, well, they're gold. And will color up as time goes on. Really can't believe that. 235. I was hoping for 10 to 12 of each species. And again, the purpose for me breeding them, one is I like to get my fish or some of my fish outside for the summer. And two, I always like to replenish my stock, so I'm not buying any. Well, now I'm going to have a huge surplus, and darn, I'm going to have to sell some. And I think people know me that I have pretty good quality Odessa barbs, at least from what I hear, anyways, right? The rosy barbs are fitting right in. Already busy chewing up the plants in this tank, as rosy barbs do. And they're getting along fine with the shabbunkins. So I may keep a few extra small shabbunkins in there. But look at them eat away at these plants. And that's okay. That's why those plants are in there, for them to forage on. And a little bit of extra oxygen and to keep them at ease. But they've already settled in nicely. We've only been here inside not even 2 hours, and they're calm. They're looking for food and wanting to be fed. Which is, well, they're just rosy barbs. They're one of the friendliest barbs you'll ever get. Really apologize for the voice. I'm not going through my second bout of puberty. It's whenever I get really sick for a long period of time and I exert myself, I lose my voice. It's happened numerous times where I've had meningitis. Who else do you know that you get meningitis 5 times? Only me. But this time it was just bronchitis in the summer. And I had that again last summer, so I'm just one of the luckiest guys ever. Well, gold barbs aren't like rosy barbs. They're going to hide for the first day or so.
Well, 2.5 days later, I finally coaxed most of my gold barbs out with some food. Like most barbs, they like to hide after being moved. When I say like most barbs, rosies are opposite. They'll come out and feed right away. They don't care. My Odessas, well, the ones I kept will probably retire in my Odessa tank. Not really a bad spot to retire when you think of it. I do love the quality of these Odessas. The colors on these males are just brilliant. That's why I'm glad I got lots to replace these with.
Guys are happily feeding away now. These guys right now are going to get powdered food, baby brine, and Daphnia until they get a little bit bigger. Then hopefully I can get them on to flake food. Remember to watch each other's videos if you do subscribe to each other. Otherwise they don't count. Well, thanks again, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you haven't done so, please hit that like button. Think about subscribing and hit that notification bell. I am trying to reach that goal of 2,000 subscribers, and then I'm going to do a giveaway. And it'll be for everyone who's subscribed, and it doesn't matter where. As long as you can get me your information, being your address and whatnot, we'll work it out. So stay tuned for upcoming videos when I announce the giveaway. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this premiere video. Thanks again. We'll see you real soon. Bye for now.